And we are live. How's everybody doing today? Thank you for joining us here at Royal Fish Aquatics. Now, as you read in the title, we're going to be talking about how this whole COVID 19 pandemic has affected us as fish keepers and affected the hobby. And just and take some questions from you guys, any questions you guys got and everything. So, like always, if you're new to the channel, don't forget hit that bell, subscribe to the channel and everything, and leave a like. So let's just start getting into the topic. This is not gonna be a super long live stream today, but I appreciate you guys for joining us here at Royal Fish. So this whole COVID-19 has affected our lives in so many different ways right now. And this is a big thing in our life is this hobby, as fish keepers. So the other day I was reading the article, and that's the whole reason why I'm doing this, how there's a lot of fish dying from alcohol poisoning. So, what's up, Zach? How's it going? So, when I was reading this article, kind of, that's why I wanted to do this live stream was because of that. And it's the reason the massive use that we have right now that we're using sanitizers in our hand. And, we're thinking our hands are clean from germs and everything. And we start dealing with our fish and we touch decoration, we're messing with plants, bags, all that stuff, and our fish are dying from alcohol poisoning. And I thought it was interesting that there was actually an article about that. But then when I really thought about it, how many times have we done that actually? You know, we sanitize our hands so much throughout the day. We get home, we think, okay, my hands are clean. I deal with my fish tank. Because we know as fish keepers, we don't want to have our hands dirty while we're dealing with our fish tanks. So fish start dying, and I'm like, I can actually see that that's happening. So I wonder how many people actually know that this is going on. Lady J, hey, what's up? What's up? How's it going, Lady J? Thank you for joining. So I was wondering how many times that has happened to people, or that anybody actually heard somebody in their fish keeping community lose fish from alcohol poisoning. So if you're having problems with your fish right now, that might be a thing you need to check. Am I overdoing it with sanitizer before I deal with my fish? Best suggestion: wash your hands with soap and water. Make sure you rinse them pretty well, and then start dealing with your fish for that. We got 5 people live. How's everybody doing today? So that made my brain run, and then other things are going on too with the hobby is the shortage of aquarium equipment and tanks. If you weren't in the market looking for a new tank, you probably wouldn't know this, but a lot of fish stores are having problems getting tanks. The reason a lot of this glass is made in China, a lot of these tanks are made in China, and the importing has slowed down a lot. And with import issues, the other thing that has been happening is you have a shortage of fish. So I have been seeing here in Florida the shortage that's going on because friends in the industry that I have and everything have explained to me that these big companies like Seagrass and Nautilus and everything are buying them out as fast as they can because they can't get fish from overseas. It's being a big problem getting these fish from overseas for these people to go in the rivers or be breeding, going town to town. A lot of that has been shut down a lot in a lot of these countries, like the Philippines, Thailand, China, where a lot of imported fish come from. So they're going to the local farmers. So right now, if you're breeding fish and you're creating a good quality fish, you can go to your fish store and be able to sell your stock because a lot of them are in need. You can sell to a wholesaler, or if you want to, and make some money off your fish really fast because these people need fish. They're trying to get as much fish they can back into the stores because the shortage is going on. So being in this industry, seeing all these effects that COVID has done, you know, for some people it has helped them. People that are selling fish online and everything have been able to sell more fish because people can't find these certain fish, in their local store. So online sales for fish has helped certain people in this industry start creating a bigger name for them because the big shortage that they have. So if you specialize in something nice that's very hard to get their hands on, that'll be great, to do. Did they say about how long this issue will last? On the article that I read about the sanitizer, no, the shortage of fish past the election, it all depends too what these other countries are gonna do on them letting people go from town to town. So that's the reason of the shortage because not too many people are going from town to town. A lot of the breeders in the Philippines and Thailand live in remote areas and they got to go to the main city to go deliver their fish to the big wholesalers that ship them to the US. So because a lot of movement is not going on in these countries, and in some places you can't go from one town to another. You got to stay in the town that you live in. You're free to move around, but you're not allowed to go from town to town. So it really depends on, I think, whenever those countries start changing their rules again. But still, we're in a market. We're in a world where the market is changing to more online sales. I mean, constantly online sales have picked up. But with this whole COVID thing going on, what's up, Big Tank Hank? With the movement of people buying more and more stuff online, online sales are good. It's just getting the products now, you know. Um, so that's the big problem going on out there. But the good thing as fish keepers, when we're dealing with this whole pandemic and we feel stressed, mad, sad, whatever you want to call it, not feeling right, for us, a lot of it is very soothing, having these fish tanks and being fish keepers because it helps us deal with, you know, our normal day. So now that we got this extra load on top of us called COVID-19, we know how to deal with, some of these issues. And fish tanks are a great stress reliever. So we have seen, up sales in tank, and there's more people joining the hobby because of this. Hopefully, we could keep more people in this hobby. Hopefully they don't leave the hobby after the whole pandemic. But yes, it has created some positive and it has created some negative stuff for us. I don't know how most people feel about the whole topic. To me, I see the positive and I see the negative in this whole pandemic, in this whole hobby for us that's going on. So who we have in the house? We got Zach, Lady J, Big Tank, Hank. We got 6 people live today. Again, I appreciate everybody for joining the live stream and hear me blab a few minutes about how this whole COVID-19 has changed, our hobby. I was talking with Rob93 on the live stream we did here, and we were talking, a little bit too about the pandemic. And after the live stream, I was talking to my wife, and I was saying how different it will be if the president would have been a fish keeper, because things that we know about quarantine and medicating new fish when they come into your fish room, that's pretty much what we had to do to prevent a lot of the stuff that's going on. So, people not understanding the process of quarantine and not letting, things mix in until they've been quarantined, separate from each other, and making sure everything is fine. That would have been helpful in the situation we're in. Zach says, I see a lot of unfortunate rescue after it's all over. Yes, you see, and I see why you say that. My buddy Zach does a lot of fish rescues and everything. He deals with especially, big fish. And yeah, because there are gonna be people leaving the hobby. But I think it's a good thing if they reach out to people like you and people that do fish rescues instead of dumping them. And that's another thing we're gonna see after people, don't want the tanks no more because they got into the hobby because they're sitting at home, don't have nothing else to do, want to find a stress reliever to deal with this whole thing. Some people are gonna dump these fish, you know, out there in the wild. And in some places, these fish are not gonna live, especially in the north. But like we live down here in Florida, and we're gonna see more invasive species dumped in our waterways, and a lot of more local fish die out because of it. So that's a bad side of it. Oh yeah, I just took in 3 pictus cats and a rainbow shark that were about to be dumped into a pond. You see, it happens. People get off the hobby, and I have done short videos about that. Zach, check them out. A lot of people, they follow me on Instagram. Talking about Instagram, you guys can always follow me on Instagram. But I've done short videos about people dumping fish, and how in one area where I live at, we got Africans and South American cichlids hibernating in the wild. And you know, we look at. I mean, that's impressive. That's cool. They could breed and everything, but they're being invasive and they mess the whole ecosystem in our waterways, and that creates a whole big problem. It's a whole nother issue that could take a whole another live stream to talk about. But main topic and point is how this changed, and yes, we're gonna see those issues a lot out there. So you're gonna get a lot of free fish. Just let me know you get any nice stuff. So that was pretty much what I want to talk to you guys about. It was just gonna be a quick and snappy live stream. No special guest this week or anything like that. But it was just a thought that was in my head how this whole um, pandemic has changed a lot of things, and things that I'm actually seeing as a wholesaler, how the stores are going through certain issues, and how some of the farmers are going through certain issues, and issues I go through because of what's going on. Another thing I want to touch on real quick was um never. It will always be an invasive species. As a native, Aquafunk just asked a question. As a native from Florida, how long does an invasive fish takes to be a Floridian until it becomes a native fish? For fish, never. For humans, when you get a driver's license, for you, 50 years. But another thing that I wanted to touch about was the issue going on with the postal service too. Shipments are running very, very slow, and selling online and shipping fish across the U.S. has been a problem, right now, because you really don't want these fish more than 3 days in a box. You know, it doesn't matter how great you breed your fish, how healthy your fish is. As a fish keeper, you really don't want them to be more than 3 days. Can they live more than 3 days? Yes, it has happened. Fish do live more. I had, you know, shipping of fish a little while back, and some of them live and a few didn't. But because he sent extras, it wasn't too bad. But sometimes they'll die, sometimes they all will live and everything. You're just taking a gamble, especially after 3 days being in a box. So shipping fish across the U.S. right now has been a big issue that's been going on, and that's the whole pandemic thing, election thing going on too. It's another issue going on with it. So it's been taking a toll on the industry, even though it has helped some and everything. But in the majority, I think in the percentage, yes, we have seen a lot of negative things happen to us as fish keepers in our hobby because most of us want to get that special fish. You okay, I want that fish. And with the shortage in the stores, you're gonna resort to going online. You're gonna go to online, you're gonna buy a fish, but the postal service is running slow. So now that fish gonna come in and you're gonna have dead fish. Hopefully you could get lucky and they're all alive because they made it alive, but they're gonna come in late, or you're gonna lose them all, have some, but then you're gonna contact the seller and you're gonna have that whole issue. You want your money back, or you're gonna send your replacement fish. Do you have to pay the shipping again or no? That whole drama. So that's why I see the majority is a negative thing because it has an effect on everything. When one thing comes out of line, the whole industry is took a big shake. All animals came from somewhere else, though. History of the world on all animals invasive. That's good. All animals came from somewhere else, though, out of history of the world. Aren't all animals invasive? Yes and no. I look at it as if it was something that happened with Mother Nature, like for example, a big thing that was going on right now was Shark Week. And I was watching Shark Week and we got great whites now breeding right outside of Maine. So right over there, there's a big breeding site of great whites. That never happened before. But great whites have migrated all through the east coast of the U.S. before. But with problems going on with the world, with the ecosystem, overfishing, overhunting, and stuff like that, they found new breeding grounds. So now they have a new breeding ground. So they're not considered an invasive species because with Mother Nature, they naturally made it to that environment. If something is invasive, I look at it as we, as humans, put it there and made it invasive, and they were able to breed and stuff. So if we do it, if humans do it, it's invasive. If it just happens with Mother Nature, no, it's not invasive. That's my theory on it. Now, I got a couple people put their stuff, big tank hang, somewhere brought in by people, so that means that they were wanted. It those that came in without people knowing and took over without becoming invasive becomes invasive. Yep, it is true. But with most of invasive fish, we have here usually predator fish, which will fight the other predator fish and will cause an imbalance in the natural ecosystem. Yep. And Aquafunk says, "I'm not playing devil's advocate just for fun." Advocate, laugh out loud. Yes, advocate. Um, so Mr. Devil's Advocate, that's my theory on that. If we put it there, and from what I get from her, yeah, it's invasive. It was because of us. It's not invasive if it happened naturally and stuff. That was a great question. Any other great questions? Anybody got any thoughts? Any put their 2 cents in? All right. So I got off track completely. We started talking about invasive and non-invasive species. So back to what we were talking about, how the whole COVID thing's going on. Um, so yeah, I see the negative side of a lot of things that's going on with that, and a few positive stuff. So that was just my train of thought that I want to talk to you guys about. I actually didn't even think it was gonna be as long as 20 minutes. I really didn't have much to for this week. Just been very busy with the family. Very busy with work, the business, everything else, and I just want to log in, talk to you guys. You see the pic I posted on Instagram? No, I haven't. I actually haven't been online that much today, other than promoting this a little bit. I didn't even do it on Instagram today, but I will check it out. Definitely want some. So keep me in mind, keep them fed real good. I definitely want to get some of those from you. I'll talk to you about those later on. But like I was saying, I didn't even think I was gonna be talking about this 20 minutes. I thought it was gonna be like a 10-minute live stream. Me just blab a little bit about what I thought about COVID, and that's all. So as I'm gonna be calling it a wrap for this quick little live stream. Everybody, website's up and running, royalfishaquatics.com. If you're looking for anything specific that you don't see on the site, you can always message me. If I have friends that breed those fish and stuff, I could get some for you. So with all that, you guys have a blessed night, and I'm gonna call it quits for this quick short live stream. And thanks everybody for joining me. You guys have a blessed day.